Hey guys, today I'm here to give you my thoughts on the 10th episode of Survivor Kaoh Rong, titled I'm Not Here to Make Good Friends. Ty returned Jason Zettel. Scott then apologized to Aubrey and tried to return some morality to camp life, saying that the guys want to be providers and their real issue is with Sydney for flipping on them, and told them that they're targeting Sydney as the next job council. Then we go to the war challenge where Ted we use one leg to balance a stack of pots on a tea butter, and competing only against those vying for the same reward of 3 choices, either land from home, food prize, or an advantage from home. Advantage in the game, that's what I meant to say. Julia then beat Joe to win the land from home. Michelle, Alex, Scott, and Jason for the hamburger, fries, coke, and beer, and Ty defeated Sydney and Aubrey for game advantage, which turned out to be an extra vote for tribal council, which could be used up till final 5, which is pretty interesting. Still playing both sides, Julia proposes to go to both a Ty to call her as idol, knowing the guys were voting Sydney, which will remove a tough female rival. Aubrey didn't like this and tried to get to Ty, with know who is socially close. Ty proposed to let Audrey take Julia's place in the minority alliance, but Scott immediately said they should vote out Aubrey, and Ty felt alienated as he was cut out of the forceful decision between Scott and Jason. And that's a little harsh, honestly. Then we get to the media challenge where contestants will help weigh discus against structures to either side of them using only their fingertips, and the last one remaining will win the meeting. And that contestant ended up being Jason, who won over Aubrey after now 15 minutes. In order to ensure their safety, Jason gave Scott his hidden immunity idol. Julia told Scott the plan she proposed to the girls, and he was okay with it, as the vote would reverse on Aubrey and the 4 were having a majority. He thought that they owned the game and revealed that they'll eventually have to watch a tie, as none of them can be tied with the jury, and Julia was happy with the chances at finals with Jason and Scott. Aubrey wanted to change the vote to Scott, talked to Ty, saying that he can get Joe and Sydney to follow her, not trusting Julia and Michelle. Ty wanted to work on Aubrey, but staying with Jason and Scott seemed a smart game move to him. At Tribal Council, Julia urged Ty to play his idol, while Scott assured Ty not to play it and he ended up not playing it. In the end, there were 2 votes against Aubrey, 2 votes against Ty, and 4 votes against Jason. He was voted out, and even though the numbers show that Ty voted against him, Scott walked away in disbelief at the time, refused to play the Super Idol, and was sent home with Jason's idol in his pocket. So that was a pretty interesting episode. Scott and voted by a 4-2-2 vote, with Jason and Scott voting for Aubrey, Julie and Michelle voting for Ty, and everybody else voting against Scott. Okay, this is going to be a pretty interesting season. Well, that's my thought on this episode. If you have seen it, leave a comment below what you thought of it. As always, guys, always like, share, and subscribe. And as always, I will see you next time.